Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be teaching you how to build your first AI automation. Tools we'll be using are Make, which is where we'll be building our automation, Airtable, Tally for our form, Airtable for our database, and also Gmail, that will be connecting using the automation to be able to get emails when we send them. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I talk about AI for your business, AI for your professional growth, and just tech in general. Please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you know when I drop my next video. So let's dive in. The mission I want to build is that I want to qualify my leads automatically. And after the qualification, I want the qualified leads to get a mail. And if you don't qualify, just send a mail to the team that there is a lead, or maybe just send a nurturing email or whatever you want to do. And how do we achieve that? That means we will need where the leads come from, which is a form. So we'll be using Tally for our form. We'll be using Airtable for our database. We'll be using Make to actually build up this automation. So just like you can see on the screen, you can see Airtable here. So once the form is submitted, it will be stored in Airtable. And this route means that if the lead is qualified, they will get a mail and it will be updated on Airtable when the mail was sent to them. And if they don't qualify, the team will get a mail that there is a lead. Of course, it's not qualified, so maybe they can be nurtured to be qualified, right? So now let's dive in. So the first thing we want to do is to create a form. Go to tally.so and sign up if you don't have an account yet. So you are going to create a new form. Let's title it first automation form, right? So once you title it first automation, so we want to create a form for people to be able to fill, and we'll be going with the first name, their last name, their email, their phone, their company, their budget, and also if they have any specific needs. So let's dive in. So the first thing we want to do is to do a short answer and name it first name. Then another short answer, last name. Another answer, email. So I'm going to fast forward this process and I'm going to display the form so you can just build your form because of time. So now I've finished populating my form and I'm just going to publish it. So once published, you are able to check. So let's check our form and see if it's working. So I'm just going to fill that up. Great salary card, My budget is $200, and just going to put and I'm going to submit. So once I submit, let me check if there's submission. Amazing. So we have the submission here, the budget, the phone number, solid swags, the company and everything that we need to know. So the next thing you want to do is to go on airtable.com, sign up if you don't already have an account. So if you don't already have an account, sign up, and the first thing you want to do is to click on create. So you can build an app on your own, and this app is just more like a table base, which will open like this. But I've already created one, so I will just go straight to that and explain how it looks. It's the same thing. So I created a lead base. The title of the base is lead base, and the title of the table is leads. I've titled it to be leads, so make sure you title your table also. And what I did is to use the same name I used for my Airtable. For my Tally form. On my Tally form, I use the same thing. First name, last name. So I'm going to change this to first name, last name. Then the email, the phone number is there, the company is there, the budget, more about your needs, tell us about your needs. Tell us about your needs. I put date added just to give you an overview of when the customer or the client filled the form. And this contacted on is also another field that you will have to create. So to create the contacted on field, just click on this plus sign and click on dates. And once you click on dates, give it a name, contacted on, give it the date format. If you want to display time also, it can display time. Choose current lead and click on create field, right? So what we're going to do next now is to integrate our tally with Airtable, because automatically, if anybody fills your form, it only stores on tally, but we want it to store on Airtable because that is our database. That's where we are keeping our data. So just before I move on, let me quickly edit this one to be first name. And I'm going to create another one beside it and say last name. Just single line text, last name. Okay. Amazing. So now we have it. So you will go on your tally, you click on integrations, and once you click on integration, you see Airtable. Click on connect. Amazing. All right, cool. So all my bases are here. So you click on the lead base, which is the one I have, and then lead. So all the data are here: first name, last name, email, company, budget. You will see that the name, the date added, and the contacted on, they are not there. These ones are just field that are added on Airtable, which automatically fills up once the action has been taken, right? So I'm gonna connect that. It's connected. Amazing. So our lead base is connected already. So let's test it. And let me fill the form again and see if it works. So 300 and submit. So Airtable. All right, everything fills up now on Airtable. Amazing. So the next thing we want to do is to go on Make. This is the one I already built. So go on Make, log in to Make, or sign up to Make. Once you log in or sign up to Make, you would have something like this kind of display. So you click on create scenario. So we are going to be creating scenario, and the first thing we want to do is to create Airtable scenario. And after you click on Airtable, you will see a lot of options, right? Watch record, watch responses, search it for specific record, get a record, create a record, update a record, or anything like that. In this case, we'll be using watch record. Why? Because we want to watch for new sign up or new form submission. As the client fill the form, we want to know. So watch record. So what we're going to do is now to connect your Airtable with Make. So click on add. You're going to click on either Airtable auth or token or key. So click on token or key. Also click on token or key, where you get your Airtable key from your Airtable. So go on Airtable. Go on Airtable, click on account. Click on your account, then you would click on go to developer hub. Click on create token. Once you click on create token, you would see this page. So click on create token. You can name your token, add the scopes, you can add everything just so that you give Make all the access that it needs. So add all resources, create token. Once the token is created, copy it, go on Make and paste it. Once it's pasted, save it, and your Airtable is connected like straight up. So once your Airtable is connected, it brings in the base option. So you'll be able to choose which base that you want to connect and also which table you want to connect. Which table? Lead table, So here on my leads table, you can see that there's trigger feed. This trigger feed is more like what will trigger this automation. In our case, what will trigger the automation is the date added, which we have on our Airtable here. Date added. So if there's a recent form, it triggers it. If there's a recent form, it triggers it. So that's what it means. So we're going to put trigger feed and put date added. Label feed company. This is more like what to be used as a label for the record, right? And also the limit is automatically 10 or by default 10. Now, formula. For this formula, I mentioned that we want to qualify our leads automatically and be able to send them mail. So what we're going to do to get this formula is to go on Airtable and use the Airtable AI. Open Omni. So with Omni, what we want to do is to give it a prompt to create a field automatically and update this field automatically. So what does that mean? What we are going to do is that we are going to write the prompt that says, so create an AI field called qualification that sets the lead as qualified or not qualified based on whether the budget field is greater than or equal to £10,000. Your own budget can be £1,000, right? Let's say you don't want to deal with clients that don't have up to $1,000 budget or £1,000 budget. This is it. So once you give it that prompt, it will just send it and it will automatically create the field for you. Amazing. So now the field has been automatically created, and as you can see, it already gave the verdict qualified, not qualified. Why? Because the budget of these two forms are not up to $1,000. And also click on the qualified and make it run automatically so that you don't have to run it manually. And if you can see from Airtable, the AI used ChatGPT 4.0 to actually build this agent, and also gave it like a custom instruction of what the agent is. You are a sales operation assistant specializing in qualifying leads based on budgetary criteria and da. So now, save it. So now what we want to do is to go back to our make, and the formula here will be qualification equals to qualified, which means if the lead is qualified, then the next thing will be done, right? So that is what we want to do, and that'll be all. Save it, and yeah, click from now on. So the next thing we want to do is, if the lead is qualified, it should do something, and if it's not qualified, it should do something. To achieve that, we have something called router on make. So this router is to perform two tasks at the same time instead of, performing it after this one has been done and this one not done. So we want it to do this and also do this. So what we want to do is that it will send mail to the lead and also send message to the team that there is a new lead and they should check it's true. If it is true, send a mail, which will look for our Gmail, send an email. Make sure you connect your email. You can add your email, sign in with your email here. But this sign in with email only works with work email. Sign in with email. Continue. So this only works with work email. If you don't have a work email, you have to click on show advanced setting, and for you will need to put the client ID and your secret ID of your Gmail. You see that when using a personal Google account at Gmail or at Google Mail, please follow this guide with additional required steps to connect. So I've linked the guide in the description. So follow the guide to be able to connect your mail. But in this case, I'm using a work email, right? So it has already been connected. So what we want to do is to send a mail to this lead. So we can say hello, first name, right? And content. We saw that you filled a form about your So you can click the company. We would like to have a 15 minutes call with you. Please book using this Calendly link, right? And just go ahead to put the Calendly link. If you want to add any attachment to the mail, add any attachment. But for me, I'm not adding any attachment. Oh yeah, add a recipient who is receiving the email, the client. So just put email there. It's a variable. Put email. Now the next thing is, after the email has been sent, we want it to be able to update on Airtable. But before we go there, let's try to run our first workflow, right? So I'm going to fill a form. I'm going to fill a form. I'm going to put my old email. And then my budget to be, let's say 1-2, because I want to be qualified. And submit. Once it's submitted, you could see it here. So it's already qualified me. It already says qualified. Then I'll go on make and run this. So you can see that it's already run. So let me check my mail. Can you see that? Hello, Grace. We saw that you filled out our form about your company, which is the Sole Swag. We would like to have a 15-minute call with you. Please book using this Calendly link. So that works perfectly. So the next thing we want to do is to update Airtable when the email has been sent. And this is very good for teams to just know when the email, if the customer has been contacted or not. So what we want to do now, we want to update a record. So we click on update a record. Your Airtable is already linked. So click on the base, click on the table, and update the record. So the record ID, just click on your ID here, and also contacted on. That is why we already created the contacted on field here. So click on contacted on and put now. So what that means is immediately the email is sent, it updates the Airtable when the email is sent. And that'll be all for that. Save it. Now, so what is also send message to the team that a new lead has filled the form. So just click on send the message and be like new lead. And be like, hey Grace, we have a new lead. Check Airtable. This can also be connected to Slack. If email will be like a lot, it can be a Slack notification also. You can check my coming videos when I will do a video on connecting Slack to make. And then the recipient, let's make the recipient me, right? Just an email that I can have access to. Good. So if someone fills the form and if they are qualified, they get a mail, and also the team get a mail. If they are not qualified, they don't get anything. They don't get a mail. So now let's test that out again, and then fill the form. Have a budget £2,000 and say yaddy. Submit, and then go on make, run it. So I'll get a mail. Okay. I'll get a mail. This is 0 minutes ago. And also got a mail, new lead. We have a new lead, check Airtable. So you have successfully built your first automation. It's simple. Lead qualification automation. And this can definitely be used in or for any other thing like qualifying, registration for a scholarship, and a lot more. If you want to learn how to build more automation, and if you want to know which automation is good for your business, use the link in the description to book a free call with me. We have a program coming up at Automatical, and just to know if you are eligible, and also to know the kind of AI automations and AI solutions that is good for your business. I hope you have been able to learn a lot. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the comment. I'll be in the comment to answer any questions, and see you in my next video.